Am I the a-hole for not wanting to take out a car on my name for my boyfriend? I, female 25, have been with my boyfriend 27 for 3 years and we live in the Caribbean. He sold his car 2 months ago and is currently saving for a new one. Or so I thought. Last night he came over and asked me what I thought about him using his car money to start a car wash. I told him that he can use the space he has at home to open a car wash, and he doesn't necessarily need to use all his money to open a business, as simple as that. But he said the vision he has is to also include auto detailing, and that he would use the money to purchase equipment for it. I told him that I don't think it's a good idea, but I'll support him if he decides to do it. He then said that he's happy I'm on his side because he wants us to do something together. I thought he meant me helping with his business, but no. He explained that this idea of together is me taking out a loan for a car that will be on my name, but he will drive it because I don't drive. When I asked who will be making the payments, he said a bank will take the money out of my account every month, and he will pay half. I told him that I am absolutely not paying half for a car I am not driving. He said it would be our car, and that when I eventually get my license, I'll be able to drive it too. I said that this entire scenario makes no sense, as I have no intention of driving anytime soon, and literally anything can happen. I asked if we break up, what then? He said even if we break up, he will continue paying for a share, so I won't bear that payment. When I asked why he can't just pay for the full payment, he said he plans to leave his job and do his car wash/detailing business full-time, so he won't be able to cover the full payment until his business takes off. I told him that I'm sorry, but I can't take out a loan for him, nor put a car in my name when he is so unstable. He called me a selfish a-hole, one he can't see a future with, and left. Now he won't speak to me. My mom says I'm in the right, but now I feel bad because if I don't take out the loan, he won't be able to. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole. Such a request would put doubts in any person's mind. Why would you pay half for a car he drives? It could kind of make some sense if he made the entire payment. But above all, if he is employed, why can't he take a loan in his name? He doesn't have a stable income, so the banks won't consider him. In my county, one of the requirements for a loan is a letter from your job stating how much you make each month. His numbers always fluctuate. Some months he doesn't even work. Then run. Absolutely do not mingle your financial record with his. It's not about wealth, it's about financial responsibility. You don't want your record tarnished by mistakes that aren't yours. The way you describe his logic, of course he can't see a future with someone he can't trick into giving him money. Not the a-hole. Hijacking because this is so important. I don't know how it works in the Caribbean, but I've been in the auto industry a while, and I cannot tell you how many excess we can't approve because they're stuck in loans because of negative equity. It's not a matter of it's in my name I can sell the car back. No. If you break up in 2 months and did a bare minimum down payment, or worse, no down payment with little to no equity, you owe the bank. And dealers will not buy unless you trade it. And if he doesn't hold up his end of the deal, then you're more screwed. Just don't. Never buy a car with someone, especially a car you don't use. Isn't it beautiful when trash takes itself out? He's asking OP to take a huge financial risk for him with nothing but a pinky promise. Even if OP were to make a contract and have it stamped, how would OP hold him accountable for keeping his promise to pay his agreed half of the car? What if ex-boyfriend totals the car? A loving partner wouldn't put their partner at risk like this. This is just financially dumb. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Don't do it. I was stupid and did it for my now ex-fiancé. We split up a little over a year later. He let it get repossessed, and it ruined my credit. At a time, I could barely even afford to pay rent and utilities and eat. So I had to file bankruptcy and it was awful. He ended up in prison, so there was no way to get him to pay for anything. Biggest mistake of my life other than dating him in the first place. Your boyfriend's reaction is over the top, and you would be better off without him. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. I will definitely take it into consideration. Right now, he has me blocked and everything and hasn't picked up my calls, so I'm not sure what's happening or where to go from here. Now for the update. Hi guys, thank you so much for giving your opinions, stories, advice, everything. I truly appreciate it, and it helped make my decision a lot easier. So he called me earlier and broke up with me on the basis of partners are supposed to share everything and he can't trust me to hold him down when he's down. After an earful about how I think I'm better than him because of my job, how I look down on him, and how I don't want to see him be successful, I called his mom as we're very close and let her know that we broke up and why we broke up. She was very upset to say the least, but reassured me that I made the right decision. She said that she told him not to sell the car, but he went ahead and did it anyway. After we spoke, she wished me well and I went to get something to eat. I guess she told him something about it because he texted me shortly after. I'm just going to copy-paste what he said. Him: how childish do you have to be to call my mom? Me: I wanted her to know that we broke up and why. Him: just say you wanted to manipulate her and make her believe I'm trying to leech off of you. What have you ever done for me? Tell me. You know what's sad? You were supposed to be the person I could come to for anything. I had my own car, something you never had, and I sold it because it was getting too expensive, and I wanted something more efficient. You know that, so I don't know why you're trying to ruin what my family thinks of me, and make me look like I'm begging you for a car. Shaking my head, you are the biggest a-hole and the most selfish person I ever met. Why couldn't you just be happy for me? Why couldn't you just believe in my dreams? You really think I would leave you after you got a car from me? You have no common sense, and that's why people will use you. You're too dumb for an educated woman, and that's why we broke up. Go tell her that. Yeah, lol. I didn't respond to any of those messages, but I did get a massive headache immediately after reading them. Anyway, thanks a lot for all your help, guys. I really appreciate it. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not supporting my girlfriend financially? For context, I, 24 male, have been in a relationship with my first girlfriend, 29 female, for about a month now. I've known her roughly since the middle of April, and she struggles financially as she is currently without a job to take care of her mental health. Well, I just finished my master's degree last year and now have a prestigious job that pays very well for my age. She told me today that she has no money left for the rest of the month and asked me to lend her money so that she could buy groceries and really has no options left. I know that she tends to spend money on stuff she wants instead of stuff she needs, like clothing or cosmetics over food, as she both showed me that since we've known each other, and seemed to not take advice on that matter, so I felt uncomfortable just giving her money. So we agreed on a compromise. She suggested that we go shopping together and I just pay for the groceries. A few hours later, she calls me and says that she talked with her friends about the situation and is now mad at me that I treat her like a child who won't take care of herself. Real quote. And she also thinks I'm an a-hole because I forced that on her and says I make her feel bad because I'm going on vacation soon. I worked a lot of overtime the last few months and wanted to relax, and also booked the vacation before I knew how much she is struggling currently. She also tells me I don't understand how she feels and says that I don't know the real world as I still live with my mother. I know that, and she knows I'm actively searching for my own place to rent right now. So I want to know, am I the a-hole in this situation? Not the a-hole. It sounds like you came up with a solution that would make you feel more comfortable and still meet her needs. She just doesn't like it, because as you stated, she probably wants to spend the money elsewhere. The funny thing about that is, the original idea for the solution came from her a few hours before she changed her mind. I just agreed to it. You've known her for a month, and she's already calling you names for not paying her bills? That's not a red flag, that's the Red Sea. Dump her before she sinks her claws into you more. Not the a-hole. A big red flag waving fiercely in the middle of his first dumpster fire. Get out before she baby traps you. Not the a-hole. Dude, time to look for your second girlfriend. This one is asking for your money 1 month into your relationship and attempting to verbally abuse you into giving her free rein with it. You're not a boyfriend, you're just her latest target. Move on. And a 5-year age difference seems significant at this stage in life. She's 5 years ahead of him in life, yet isn't demonstrating adult life skills. No, not the a-hole. Dump the girl. She needs to figure out her life and how to manage her finances. The relationship is way too new for all of this, and her attitude is unacceptable. She clearly has toxic friends with equally immature ways of thinking. Save yourself the headache and don't get sucked any further into that money pit. Last story. Am I the a-hole for saying I don't like my friend's boyfriend, which caused him to lose a job opportunity? I, 27, have a friend, Natalie, who has a boyfriend, Jamie. Jamie is a complete jerk. He's one of those people who makes below-the-belt jokes and then calls you sensitive if you don't find it funny. In the 18 months I have known him, he has called Natalie fat, average, and boring to her face too many times to count. He has called many of our mutual friends rude and demeaning things, and has purposely antagonized me on many occasions. We all put up with him because if we don't, we'd never see Natalie. But he really is the butt of every joke and a walking cliche. My roommate Harry recently had a job come up in his company that Natalie asked him to interview Jamie for. Harry is part of our wider friendship group. His friend is dating one of the girls in our group and has met Jamie, but not really spent much time with him, so thought he was an alright guy. I decided to keep out of it because I know Jamie has been unemployed for a while and it has really affected Natalie. However, when Harry mentioned he was going to do the interview at our apartment, he could see I was uncomfortable. I didn't mention anywhere near the extent of Jamie's behavior, just said he made a couple of demeaning remarks to/about me, and I wasn't overly keen on being around when he was. I told Harry not to do anything about this, and that he should hire the best person for the job. Harry went through with the interview, but he made Jamie do a lot of prep work and presentation to other employees, and then made the interview extremely long for no reason. Then at the end, he said he wasn't going to hire him. Jamie got mad at Natalie over it, and she got mad at me, saying I shouldn't have said anything about Jamie knowing how great the job would be and how hard it is to get jobs in the field. On top of that, I should have been sensitive to his unemployment, and that I'm ignorant to how difficult the job market is. She's now not speaking to me, and our friends are divided. Two think I shouldn't have said anything because Jamie really needs the job, and ultimately it would have been helping Natalie. One friend thinks it's fair that I expressed not wanting Jamie in my home, and that I owed it to Harry to tell him because Jamie is an HR problem waiting to happen. On the one hand, yes, his off-the-clock behavior shouldn't cost Jamie a job. But on the other hand, why should I have to cover up for the way Jamie is? If honesty makes him look bad, then maybe that's his problem. Then again, I guess it was some pretty petty antics that had real-life consequences. So maybe I shouldn't have said anything? I'm not sure whether I should apologize. Edited to add, for everyone asking how it got out that I told Harry, Jamie went home and went off on Natalie about him not getting the job, as it was basically a lock with Harry doing it as a favor to Nat. She figured the only person who would have changed Harry's mind about doing her the favor was me, so she called and I ended up telling her the truth. She then told everyone else. For everyone who missed it in the post, Harry and I are roommates, so my home is his home. Harry has a home office and works out of that office most days. He conducts meetings from there all the time, which is normally fine because I know all his employees really well. He did not end up having the interview with Jamie at the apartment. He had it at the registered company office. Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. Tell him it was only a joke and to stop being so sensitive. Yep, tell him the interviewer found him boring and average. Not the a-hole. It is likely that Harry didn't make the interview extremely long for no reason. He did it to test Jamie on the things that came up in your conversation, to see if your passing comments were just you having a personality conflict with a nice guy, or if the things you mentioned would be issues in his work. It is likely that the interactions with our employees was to see if others got an uncomfortable vibe. Most people can put on a good front for a short interview. Putting them in more real-world situations shakes people out of their best behavior, so you can see who they would actually be on the job. You did nothing wrong. Jamie only has himself to blame for not getting the job. The fact that he got angry at Natalie because he didn't get a job tells you a lot about someone not taking responsibility for their own actions. That kind of behavior would totally come up in interaction with his potential coworkers, and likely had more to do with why Jamie didn't get the job than anything you said. If he had got the job, he would likely have failed his probation period anyway. Exactly. I dated a jerk very similar to Jamie. He interviewed at my office, and I sent a note to my boss with my exact concerns. He was a sexist, ageist, lazy, mean jerk who would step on a heartbeat to climb to the top. They interviewed him and made him interview with female boomers, who really pushed him on exactly what he had done versus things his teammates had done that he took credit for. He got snippy and didn't get the job. Boss had said nothing about my concerns to them. He lost it all on his own. And everything I said to my boss came out in a reference check anyway. They said it nicer than I did, but you could easily read between the lines. OP, you are not the a-hole. He is, and he knows it. My old boss had an interview rule where basically if you treated a white middle-aged dude noticeably better than anyone else, you didn't get the job. I guess it's the same thing. Sad it was necessary, but it was a good place to work. My old company was tiny, so whenever anyone interviewed, they met with everybody. And I swear it sometimes turned into a fascinating social experiment. Some people did not understand if they behaved dismissively towards female supports.